Hi BookTube, it's Missy, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my most anticipated books for January. And if you want to watch further, I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated books for the coming year. And I don't know if the dates will change, but at the moment, those are the dates for this year, and they're mostly sequels to books that I've already read. So the first one I want to talk about is Ensnared, the third and final book in the Splintered trilogy by A.G. Howard. It comes out on the 6th of January. I have pre-ordered Ensnared, and it should be coming from Amazon on the 12th, and I'm so stinking excited. Oh my god. I love Alice in Wonderland, and I love retellings of Alice in Wonderland, and I am just so excited for this to come in the mail. I love it. The second book that I'm looking forward to is Hellhole by Gina D'Amico. This is the arc. I am going to be reading it this week because it comes out on the 6th. I cannot wait to read it. I kid you not, this author has me laughing out loud, and I rarely do that when I'm reading books. I might or giggle, but this one's like, oh my gosh, so funny. I just want to write all of the banter down, like the back and forth, because it's just the best. I'm thinking, how does she come up with this? She needs to be a stand-up comic. If she doesn't want to write anymore, she needs to be a stand-up comic because she's so funny. The third book that I am anticipating is called Vivian Apple at the End of the World. Now, this is a hardcover that's coming out next month, but there was a paperback which was called Vivian Apple and the Apocalypse, I believe. And so I never heard of this, but Max Baker, which is a friend of mine on Goodreads, and I trust his judgment 100%. He raved about this book, and so I am looking forward to reading it. It's just her story about what happens at the end. She goes somewhere and comes home, and there's holes in the ceiling, and her parents are missing. And I don't know if she was like lifted out of the ground from aliens, or if it's definitely the apocalypse and she is now, you know, in heaven. I don't know what's going on, but I need to read this book. There is a sequel coming out, or maybe it did come out, but I didn't write it down, and so I'm just talking about the first one because this is what I want to read in January. The fourth book, the cover is so amazing. It grabbed me. It grabbed me, and I couldn't let go. This is by Richard Curti, and it's about what you think it is. Monkey war. So it's kind of like Planet of the Apes. They're all intelligent. They can speak. There's different races of monkeys, and they're fighting, and this is in India, and I just want to read it. I want to read it because the main characters are monkeys. It has to happen. And this book comes out on the 6th. So, again, dark fable, Animal Farm, monkeys, war, India. I want to read it. And then there's 5. It's called The Ghosts of Heaven. This is by Marcus Sedgwick. I own 3 of his books. I've never read him. Isn't that weird? Like, you read a synopsis and he sounds so good, and then if you go to Reagan's channel from Peru's Project, she talks about how he's such a great writer, and I've been collecting his books just because his books sound really awesome. And so this one does too. It is a time travel book, and it's about there's a bunch of stories, like 4 different points of view, and I guess they all combine somehow at the end, but it starts off at with caveman drawings, goes all the way through witch hunts, keeps going into the future where it's all futuristic and everything. I don't know. I'm interested in reading about all these points of view and why it's all going to be connected. And again, it's Marcus Sedgwick, so I just want to own the book and read it and love it. And this book comes out on the 6th as well. The little blurb that got me is madness, obsession, and creation. So yes, thank you. I want it. The 6th book that I am anticipating is called There Will Be Lies, and this is by Nick Lake. And it comes out on the 6th as well. It's a contemporary thriller mystery. The cover is like black and yellow, and it's got like car headlights. It's about a girl and her mom on the run, and the mom hasn't told her anything, but like these weird things are happening to her, but the daughter's starting to have like lots of questions, and the mom's not being very honest. And so it's like this whole like I don't know if it's a conspiracy, but there's just all these secrets and lies, and I really want to know what happens, and it sounds interesting. The 7th book on my list is Gone Too Far. This is written by Natalie D. Richards. And it kind of reminded me of the Death Note. There's a girl, she's like invisible at school. She doesn't want to be known. And she finds a notebook one day, and there's a list of kids' names from school and all of their sins. All of a sudden, a popular girl, dies, and everyone says it was suicide, but this girl, I don't know her name, the girl knows that it's not, because she has this notebook that talks about how these people are going to die. And it just, I mean, I like Death Note, the manga, and the anime, and so when I read just the synopsis and it reminded me of that, I just wanted to buy it. Alright, the 8th book that I'm looking forward to is called Conspiracy of Us. This is by Maggie Hill. What grabbed me in the synopsis for this book is it said YA Da Vinci Code. Yeah, that's what I want to read. It comes out on the 13th of January. It's a contemporary mystery thriller. It's about a girl who's an heir to the secret society, and if she is found out that she's the heir to this last seat, she might be used as a pawn, or her life might be in danger. And so somehow she finds out that there's these clues that she needs to follow all throughout London, and I don't even care. It said Da Vinci Code, and I love the Da Vinci Code, and so I want to read this book. The 9th book that I'm looking forward to is Please Remain Calm. It comes out on January 20th. I didn't know that This Is Not a Test was going to be a duology or a trilogy. I just thought it was just a standalone book, and this is by Courtney Summers. I read This Is Not a Test, maybe in spring of 2014, maybe in the summer. I can't remember. I said it was like The Breakfast Club meets zombies, and that's what I still stick to. These kids are stuck in a school gymnasium. They have conflict between, you know, who's going to be the leader of this small pack of kids. There's zombies outside. They can hear them banging on the doors. You know, there's little resources. People are starting to go crazy. They don't know what's going to happen. Ending kind of ended weird. I didn't think it was going to have a sequel, but I'm glad it has a sequel because I want to know what happens with the people at the end. And then number 10 is Ferris, which is 3.5 of Marissa Meyer's Lunar Chronicles series. This is a novella, but the novella is really long. It's like, I think almost 300 pages. And it comes out on the 27th. I am definitely looking forward to this book. Winter comes out November 24th, so this will be a nice book to read in the meantime. It is a story of Lavana. I hate Lavana, so we will see if I like this or not. 11 is Cold Legacy by Megan Shepherd. This is the 3rd book in the Madman's Daughter trilogy. It's out on January 27th. I have not read, but I do own the 1st and the 2nd book, and so I want the 3rd one, and then I can just marathon it. It is supposed to be, the 1st one's supposed to be a retelling of Dr. Moreau, Island of Dr. Moreau, where like he like makes weird animals or whatever, and then the second one's supposed to be Frankenstein, I think. I could be wrong, but I own the first two. I want the third one, and then I want to marathon them, and all of the covers are gorgeous. I love them a lot, and so I want them all. And finally, the last book for January's anticipated reads is Playlist for the Dead, and this is written by Michelle, and I don't want to say the last name wrong, but it's like Thalkoff. This one comes out on the 27th of January, and the reviews have said that it's better than 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. Is that the author? Anyways, I picked it up from the library, and I'm interested in reading it because it's about a suicide and these tapes that, you know, show up that need to be listened to find out why this person committed suicide. It's the same thing. It's a boy's best friend commits suicide and leaves a playlist for him to find out clues on the reasons why he committed suicide. So that sounded interesting. Those were my 12 anticipated reads for January. And if you want to stay and listen to the ones that I'm interested for the rest of 2015, then stay tuned.
So, for the rest of the year, I am anticipating a ton of books. I'm just going to say the book, the author, and then when it comes out.
The first one is The Shutter by Courtney Alameda. I've already talked about this book. It was an e-arc that I got from NetGalley. I loved it. It comes out February 3rd. It was so good. If you like Dracula, like Ghostbusters, check out this book because the main character captures ghosts with their camera. They get stuck in the film and it's amazing. And there's like this little teenage posse of ghost catchers, and they're all related to Bram Stoker, and Dracula was real, and it's an awesome book. Read it, read it. The second book, Shadow Cabinet, and this is by Maureen Johnson. I did not know The Name of the Star was going to have a third book. I did read both The Name of the Star and the second book, which was... It's about Jack the Ripper, but this is a paranormal instead of just a murder mystery. This is a paranormal book, and Jack the Ripper's actually like a ghost. And so it was really interesting. The girl is from Louisiana. Whenever I read her voice in the books, it reminds me of Sookie Stackhouse from True Blood, and so that's her voice, and it sounds so funny when I'm reading it because, like, I don't read my books out loud, but I hear her voice while I'm reading the book. And she lives in London, and it's not powers. She's got the ability to see ghosts, and so the reason why she can see ghosts is because she had a near-death experience while she was at this boarding school in London. And so in the second book, it just continues on with the first, which was really good. And so I am looking forward to Shadow Cabinet. This one comes out February 5th, 2015. I hope that these dates stay the way they are. The third book on the list is called Shadow Study. This is by Maria V. Schneider. I've read her first couple books, which was Poison Study and Magic Study. I still need to finish Fire Study, but they're such fast reads, and I just love Yelena and Valak that I want to continue reading all of Marie V. Schneider's books. And so this one comes out on February 24th. I believe this is a spin-off, or maybe this is the fourth book in the series. I cannot keep all of the books in order with hers because they're all like little spin-off series or companion novels or what have you. If you know all the information on Maria's books, let me know down below. Thanks. The next book is called Under My Skin by James Dawson. This one comes out in March. It doesn't have an actual date. It just says March. And this one sounds so cool. So there's this girl. She's walking. I don't know if it's in a mall or like just down the street, and she sees a tattoo parlor, but she's a super goody-goody. And she doesn't want to be teased anymore. She's like always picked on and bullied. And so she goes into this really seedy tattoo parlor There's women in there that lure her in and say, hey, don't you want to get a tattoo? It'll make you feel good, feel confident, I promise. And so she's just like, yeah, that's what I need. I need a tattoo. And I have tattoos, so I'm like, yes, tattoos, right on. So she gets this tattoo, and the tattoo starts talking to her. And the tattoo starts taking over her body. Oh my God! Body snatchers and tattoos. The cover is amazing. It's beautiful. I want this book. Number 5 is Dream a Little Dream by Kirsten Gier. The same lady who wrote the Ruby Red time travel trilogy. She also wrote this book, and it's about dreams. So this girl dreams these weird things. It reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. Super whimsical and trippy, and I can't wait to read it. And this one comes out April 14th, 2015. All right, number 6 is Lair of Dreams. This is book 2 of The Diviners by Libba Bray. They keep stopping and then telling us that they're going to make this book, like publish this book at a later date, and it's happened like 4 or 5 times now, and I want it, and it's supposed to come out April 14th, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they don't change the date and make it go at a different time, because I loved The Diviners, and I need this book in my life. It's a paranormal, historical fiction about a secret society who have different paranormal powers. So there's psychics, and there's like readers that can hold things in their hand and know the future or the past or whatever. And it's just good. It's set in New York in the 1920s. I loved it. All right, number 7 is Challenger Deep by Neal Shusterman. I do own one of his book series, which I really enjoyed. His writing is very different. Like, he can have a super scary book, he can have a political book, he's such a good writer. And so this one is about a boy who gets to go onto a submarine to like the deepest parts of the Mariana Trench, something like that. And he's going to be the one who draws all of the pictures of everything that they see. It's a mental illness book, and mental illness is a buzzword for me. I like reading about insane asylums, insanity, when your mind is just not yours and you don't know what's going on. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a contemporary, which I usually don't read, but I want to read that one. And this one comes out April 21st. Next is End of Days, which is book 3 in Angel Fall. I'm so excited. There was Angel Fall, World After. This is End of Days. I want to know what happens to Penguin. Penryn? I think that's how you say her name. This is by Suzanne E. And this comes out May 12th. I want it. I want it now. That's all I have to say about that one. Number 9 is Storm by Amanda Sun. This is the 3rd book in the Paper Gods trilogy. I think this is the last book. There was Ink. I haven't read Rain yet, but I need to read it. It's so good. And then the last one, like I said, is called Storm. It's about a girl who moves to Japan and meets this boy who can draw things on paper, and then they come to life. And it's got Japanese gods, and this boy is like super special because he's got like kami blood or something like that, but it was just good, and I need to finish it. It's just, I love Japan, so anything that's set in Japan, horror stories or paranormal stories in Japan, they're always amazing. All right, that one comes out June 30th, so I'm looking forward to that one. The next book, this is what made me want to make this video. It's called Armada. It's by Ernest Cline. My favorite author of 2014. Oh my God. Now, people have been like making these different kinds of comments on Goodreads about, it's going to be just like Ender's Game. Now, if you read Ready Player One, Ernest Cline talked about all these 80s movies and all these 80s games and all these 80s books. And so he immersed us in this world of fantasy and video games and like just really cool sci-fi stuff. So of course he's going to continue on with the sci-fi awesomeness. I don't even care if it's kind of like, or if it's a whole retelling. I want anything that Ernest Cline writes. I'm buying this book. I don't even care. I want it. It comes out July 28th. That is going to be a pre-order for me. Then there's The Uninvited by Kat Winters. I want anything Kat Winters. She is an auto-buy author, and I want to buy her books. This one is about influenza, 1918, gothic ghost story, and a psychological thriller. It stopped right there. Ghost is a buzzword for me. So is psychological thriller. And it's Kat Winters. I want it. It comes out August 11th. Okay, this one is like super awesome. There is no date. It just says 2015, and I want it. It's an anthology. So it's a bunch of authors. The title is called Slasher Girls and Monster Boys. A bunch of short stories, horror stories by all of my favorite authors. Let me just give you the list of all these authors. We have April Genevieve Tucholk, Stephen Bachman, Leigh Bardugo, Kendar Blake, Cami Garcia, A.G. Howard, Jay Kristoff, Marie Lu, Carrie Ryan, Megan Shepard, Kate Winters, two others that I'm not familiar with. There's something Templeton, McCormick Templeton. I don't know who that is. And so I just cannot wait for this book because horror short stories by all these awesome authors. Yes, please. I want it. All right. And the very last book of this very long anticipated reads list is Never Been Texted by Linda Joy Singleton. If you guys have been watching my videos for the past year, I've been reading the Seer series from this author for a while, and it's about a psychic and her psychic grandmother and a quest that she's on to help save her grandma from dying, whatever. But her books are just so fast-paced reads, and she writes so well that I want to read this book. And it's about a girl who buys a cell phone. It's really cheapy. It's one of those throwaways. And she keeps being texted by this random stranger. And she feels compelled to help this guy. So it's like a lighthearted, hopeful read. Otherwise, it could be a weird mystery. I don't know. It doesn't even have a cover yet. I liked Linda Joy Singleton's writing, and so I'm looking forward to this book. And it comes out in September. There's no date, just September 2015. So I hope you guys like this extremely long video. I do apologize. I will try to cut it down when I'm editing it. And that's it. So have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon.